morning.
What's up?
Welcome to First and Then the Rest.
Let me get my volume up. Alexa, turn the volume up. Up. Alexa, turn the volume up more. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to First and Then the Rest. You're joining me, Lexicon, with my Pops. Say hey, Pops.
Good morning. Man, has it been a trying 3 days, but...
Yeah.
You know, have you ever had, of course you've had, look at your past or think about something that was so huge. The problem was so huge. It was in your face. It was on your back. It was everywhere you looked. And you thought to yourself, I'll never get out of this one. And then, today, that was last year, and I got this far. So, you know, we all come to those points where, how the hell am I going to get out of this? Or, how can I improve? Well, either you did improve or you ended up in prison. So, no matter what it is, you know, you can survive. There is going to be another day. There's always going to be that next day. And if you do end up in prison, don't eat the candy bar on your mattress, and get into a good group and do your time, get out. Anyway, so how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing all right. That was a nice intro.
What is that?
So, 3 days turns to 6 days, turns to 9 days, and then it's 365 and a quarter. And you look back and you say, well, shit, I guess it wasn't that bad. I know one thing today is for certain. If I don't kill myself and I go to sleep, I will wake up.
That's right.
And I can do it again. Or I can do something different.
Try again, or try something different.
Is it trying? I think it's doing. I think as long as we're doing, we call it trying all the time, but I get up, and I have breakfast, I go about my day. Do I do things right all the time? Hell fucking no. But I do them. And if I do them again, they obviously weren't that bad, or they were good. So I know some people that have gone through some tragedy lately, and I know that you're one of them. And I know that I see things around me every day that I just want, I shake my head at it because I really don't know what to do or what to say. And that's okay. That's quite all right. You know what I mean?
Today has some other voice on it.
Do what now?
Today doesn't have the right voice.
Oh, hey, we're having a the Today Show has apparently rerouted, and so I gotta go find it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, it's no matter what we do, as something arises somewhere, like a fire, you gotta go put it out. But we still keep on going.
Absolutely. I mean, we don't have another. I mean, do we have another choice?
That's wrong. You're on a Twitter channel.
Well, I didn't put it on anything.
Okay, here's what's going on. They're announcing warnings.
For what?
Like mixed precipitation expected.
There's a thunderstorm. That's what it is. It'll go off when they announce. It's one of the emergency announcements. It'll go off in a minute. Okay, he was confused. You know, when they have a break from the weather service and it comes over to television and it's a big enough event, it's on there for a minute when they name all the counties. Well, he thought somehow the journals was messed up and he couldn't see the Today Show. Anyway, there you go.
My grandma would tell Mom, she'll say, now, this TV done got switched over to another channel.
Right.
My program is not coming on.
Right.
You it's going to be there and it's supposed to be there. And by golly, if it's not, then come hell or high water, somebody's going to fix it. But, it
Exactly.
wasn't a year ago that she was punching in the numbers all by herself.
Yeah.
And she knew what time to change the channel and all these things. There's something graceful in the utter misery that we feel watching someone forget. I feel helpless. I feel out of control, like there's nothing I can do. But at the same time, if I were to be in that person's shoes, they don't worry like we worry about what they're going through because they don't know.
Exactly. Exactly. And he sees concern on my face and bewilderment. I'm sure he sees that on my face. And sometimes he asks, why are you so fretful? Why are you so upset right now? And I had to stop and I had to think, is it identified, the situation, by me and him or just by me? And you're right. He has no, everything's okay,
Yeah. Yep.
He's eating, he's taking his medicine, he's doing, the only thing he noticed is the activities. He's not doing as many activities, and he doesn't drive. I do the driving. Anyway, somehow in his head, though, he figured out that he's not supposed to get behind that wheel. And I think maybe it was fear, because when he did not too long ago, he froze while driving. And I thought, shit, we're in the wrong place to do that.
In the road. Yeah.
Yeah. We are right in the middle of Markham on rush hour right now.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. So anyway, so you're right about that. You feel so, I feel like, you do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to, and I always have the answers, and this one I don't. And then there's people that have already been through this and tell you some elementary things, and you're thinking, why are you down talking to me like that? Why are you downsizing everything? And the answer, like you, they'll answer, they don't know, really. And they're going to forget a lot of things. And there will come a point where, and it was so definitive what she said, there's going to come a day where he's going to forget to breathe. Like, wow. Anyway.
Whoa. That's a heavy statement to think about.
Yeah. His heart will forget how to beat. His brain will forget how to tell his lungs to take a breath. And wow. Anyway, last year we went through the whole education of Alzheimer's, and he read anything that he could find. And I would watch him read it, and the expressions he would make, I would read along with him. It's in silent, and then I'll watch his body language and his reactions, and they were shocked, and he was confused, and then cry. And I asked him, so why are you doing this? Why are you reading all this? Because the first one's going to be like the second one, and they're pretty much all going to be the same. Because, he said, there's apparently, according to all this, there's going to come a day where I won't know. I won't remember any of this. And he said, right now, I kind of want to know. He said, but I'm not going to have any memory of it. I said, I have to answer you truthfully. No, you won't have any memory of it. The way the support group tells me to interact is so, to me, wrong. It's backwards. But it's not. I was the one that was backwards. If they wake up and they're in Jenny's room and Jenny's there, for 10 years she's been dead, well, that's where we're at. We're in Jenny's room and Jenny's here.
Yeah.
And I don't know. So I have to rethink my everything. And I had to not understand what I understood. Rethink, you know what I'm saying? It's rethink everything, rewrite it. And then I guess, yeah.
Can I, what I find and what I found, because, you know, right there before I got ready to make the move out this direction, I was I was in close quarters with Grandma, watching it happen over the last few years. And then towards the end, you know, when Mom started taking over more, I took a step back. But as these things were happening, I kept, you know, getting asked the same questions, you know, time and time again. You know, within the same 30 minutes, like 30 minutes, I'd be asked the same question 6 times. And what happened is one day I realized that she is giving me an opportunity to relive all of my old memories that I forgot because I didn't pay attention to them. I was a kid and I was running around. I took things for granted.
Yeah.
So when she was asking me about her family, and she was asking me about me being in school, and she was double checking to make sure that, you know, graduation and happening, whatever the question might have been, I got to hear her tell her side of the story a different way every time, and I got little bits and pieces that were different.
Yeah.
So I realized in that moment that it's not about me needing to understand how to deal with helping her remember. And it had nothing to do with me. Really, it was my ego and my selfishness that I got frustrated a couple of times because I wanted her to know because she knew everything my whole life. Right? And that's just who she was. But now that's not who she is. Now I get to know my grandma when she was a teenager. I get to know my grandma when she was in her 30s. I get to know her when she was in her 50s, you know, and backwards, you know, because she talks about, you know, Grandpa. Not anymore. She did, you know, and I'm her son now, you know, in her mind whenever we talk. So I get to learn all things about my Uncle Richard that passed away. But I had to stop expecting to know anything about her situation and her condition. And I also took into account that she lived a life so long and did so many things for so many people that she had earned the right to forget anything she wanted to forget. Because if it wasn't for her, there's not a day, whether it be a ticket was due, a bill was due, a class was happening, a program was going on, play was at school, Mom had to work, Dad was on the boat, Mom had a dentist appointment. She knew everything about everybody in our family, and she did it her entire life, along with putting 3 meals on the table, paying all the bills. You know, Granddaddy worked and Grandma took care of the house, and she did it. So now she's where she's at, and that's okay for her because she gets to rest and she watches Andy Griffith all day long, and she'll ask you the same question 10 or 12 times. But for her, it's new every single time.
Okay, back to where you got to know more about your family, and your family has been in the past, I'm saying, it's been from one to the next, and not knowing when there was separation of the families, and there was history with those families, and so now she's telling you, like you said, you're getting a chance to hear about some even family members that you didn't know about, or where they were in the line of lineage, or
I got to learn about her life.
Her life,
her family members. So my mom she's my mom's mom. So I knew all of Brad's parents. You know, he was great. Papa was a preacher. Mama was a preacher's wife. You know, and Dad had a sister named Sheila. Was married a guy named Richard, and I know all of that part. And Dad always talked about his stuff. Mom, reserved. She didn't talk about Grandma's people and all that. But Grandma didn't really either until things started to go the other direction. And so then she started talking to me about her brother and her sister and her parents and the fact that she thinks she was adopted. And in detail can tell you about everything. And, the graveyard where her mother's buried, the town where she grew up in, stories about her uncle coming on the bus drunk, and she was trying to act like she didn't know who he was because he was always trying to get the one single pane of glass home to fix a table. Every time he got on the bus with it, he broke it because he was drunk. And he was the town drunk. And it's those stories that I would have never got because I was too busy trying to be the cool kid. But then as I was in all this pain from watching her not being able to help her, I said, well, hold on a minute. What do I have in front of me? What is this opportunity? And it was an opportunity to get to know her.
Right.
To really get to know the woman that had done everything for me my entire life.
How'd you... Okay, now that's been last year, right? Your mom's in...
Mom's been there for, I guess, a little over a year and a half now, but this has been over the last 4, I would say 3 years that I was conscious of like, okay, I need to suit up, show up, and pay attention. Well, the year before, so 16, it had to be 2016 because that year before I went to Florida, all that time that I spent with her, that's when everything began, and she started talking about her life to me a lot. Grandpa was gone. She wasn't going to church anymore. And she was still driving a little bit. And I feel like she just needed to talk. She needed to understand. She needed to remember her, and what's going on and why she's here and what she's doing it for. I remember the craziest question she asked me one day. She said, Alex, how do we know when we go there every Sunday morning and we just sit and listen like everything is perfect? She said, how do we know that that's really who God is?
I remember you telling me that one morning, and I was shocked. I was totally shocked.
I said, Grandma, you've been my pillar of strength and faith my entire life. I said, I don't think at this point there's any reason to question because whatever you believe in got you this far. But if that's your question, then think about it.
Yeah, if she's questioning it, is it because she's not remembering? And why did that memory not stick with her?
Well, my grandma and grandpa were from a time where things were a certain way, and she loved him and he loved her, and they did what they did for each other, and part of that was they went to church every Sunday. They took their kids to church. He was a deacon. She, was in the church cookbook every year. They were a part of that community. Well, with him gone and her by herself, she's got more time to think and sit around, and she sees people dying, and she's losing this person and that person, and she just started to wonder, like, all my life, is that really where I was supposed to be? Is almost the question she was asking, and it was heavy, it was deep, it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The way she was asking wasn't out of fear; it was more out of like, are we really doing it right?
Yeah, like really pondering about it.
Yeah.
You said, well, Grandma, you've been my pillar of strength. And then she was asking you a question, a monumental question. So, wow. I mean, you don't expect those things, Well,
what kind of makes me feel like I've been through what I've been through for a purpose, because if she was going to ask anybody that question, I can't imagine. I believe I was the right person to ask that question in her life at that moment. I believe I was right where I needed to be because, just as well, me, and I have studied and traveled and sought this and sought that and tried this and, conjured this on accident and followed this on purpose, and gems and crystals and sage and spells and prayers and church and praise, and I've done it all. And what I found through all of it is that God, because that's what we're talking about, and such a finite word for such an infinite thing, is inside every single one of us, and lives and breathes as I live and breathe. And the only thing keeping it in is this. Well, it's not even keeping it in. The only thing that I have to be concerned about is just keeping this coat alive and walking a path so that people can see that God is in me, and that He's in you, and that He's in them. I don't know what my purpose is in a professional sense, and I never have, but I'm making it along the way. But one thing I've always known is that I have felt a love inside me my entire life that was not mine, and it was my job to give that to people on some level. And I've tried wrong, and I've tried right, and I've tried different, and I've tried, scared out of my mind. But I've never stopped trying to let people know that love is a real thing, and it's the most important thing.
It's so hard to believe that some people don't believe that. It's part of our fabric. We're born. That's the first thing we recognize unconsciously as infants is love. We don't know what the word is or the definition of it, but it's a feeling, and that's the first thing we feel. Other than getting slapped on the ass.
Well, when you feel that great emotion, so you've got to feel some pain right behind it to get us started on that wrong track.
Yeah, identify that pain.
We take our breaths. We're in this new world, and I'm sure we're filled with something that we'll never remember because it happens when we're born, and that was a long time ago. And then all of a sudden somebody smacks you on the ass. Come on now. Immediately you've got correlation of, pleasure. Oh, no, that was wrong. Or it hurt. But anyway, I think that's just a small picture of kind of how we live our lives as humans. We call it love, but then we make love into something so far off the charts from what it's supposed to be. We make it this small, insignificant, trivial, argumentative little ball of goo, and it's the biggest ray of energy, positive vibration in this everything. And we take it and we downsize it because we need to market it. We need to sell it. We need to be able to profit off of it. And the only profit ever made off of love has not lasted. True wealth is in the heart and spirit, and love does not have, it doesn't even have anything to do with from me to you until it has to do with from me to that thing that we call God. If I don't love that first and accept and understand that is what love is, then I'll never love anybody. But LOVE, Valentine's Day cards, they can take that to the bank all you want, Hallmark, because at the end of the day, you're broke if you don't really love yourself.
I'm noticing your accent. Drastically changed from when we started to right now. It is so murdered between Louisiana and North Carolina. But anyway, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. The subject matter. I think the subject matter kind of has something to do with it. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Absolutely fine.
Where's he from?
You may never know.
You're not. I'm not telling the truth about it. Anyway.
I cannot tell a lie, but I don't have to open my mouth at all.
Oh, amazing. It's amazing. We're a long ways from being through. I'm 56. I'm 55, but I always round up. 56, and I don't know why I round up. And then you're 35, right?
Go ahead and round up.
I rounded up, and you and I have been through some stuff. And thought we wouldn't get out of it. Thought we wouldn't walk out of this one. And somehow there was an umbrella or something around us, a force field, a thought, a presence or something, when I thought for sure, well, this is it. And then the next day I'm home, and I'm thinking, what the fuck just happened? What was that all about? And but anyway, so like half of that day, the day after, thinking about the day before, and then I dismissed it, going with the next one, So anyway, that said, we got probably not personal experiences together, but separate, and things that we're going to come across, and things noteworthy, at least noteworthy. Write it down somewhere on a piece of paper and put it in your pocket. And it's like I've seen this. I'm going to change the words on it. I've seen a quote, a very old one, that I tried so hard to forget you that I wrote your memory on a piece of paper and I stuck it in my pocket, way down in my pocket. And during the day, I thought nothing about you, nothing at all, until I stuck my hand and touched that little piece of paper in my pocket. Then everything came back. Anyway, I love you.
I love you too.
And I have to rush on. Go ahead.
Real quick before you go, I want to tell you something that I heard the other day, and I think it's a really cool thought. So we spend our lives trying to understand how a spirit can live inside of our body, but we've never really given much thought to what if our body is actually living inside of our spirit.
Wow.
And the spirit is bigger than we will ever be, and it surrounds us. And we think we're the cocoon, but it is.
You're so right that we, how did he say that about, I was reading a philosopher, an American philosopher, and he was talking about souls. I think he said we're so alienated from, people are so alienated from their own soul that when they meet their soul, they think it comes from another star system.
Yeah.
And that was, it was pretty deep. We don't even realize we have to get used to the idea of dying. So we walk through time and space in this skin so that we can understand death. We understand that this body has to die. We have to understand death to accept what's coming. Now, I pondered and pondered that and pondered that. It's like, what the fuck was he smoking when he said that? But then I understand, but finally it comes to you, like, yeah, yin is a very yang.
Very yang. Yeah.
Very yang, reaching out there. One more thing he said, plant life are the ones that came up with animals. So they have a way to move seeds around. Now that's a yang reach out there.
I love that.
Yeah, they're the one in charge here. We need someone to move our shit around. Anyway.
Well, I love you, and I've always said, hey, maybe Mother just said, go ahead, Dad. You can have the story.
Go ahead.
since I gave the lie.
I love that. I do. All right. Well, I love you, kiddo. I'm going to run. I gotta run somewhere and get some milk.
Namaste.
Namaste.